We had each other before success, so we will always have each other. Success can come and go.
It brought tears to my eyes. I couldn't believe it.
Born Sigmund Esco Jackson on May 4th, 1951, Jackie Jackson's journey began long before the world knew the name. As the eldest member of one of music's most influential families, he became a witness to and a driving force behind decades of pop culture history. For more than 60 years, Jackie has remained a powerful presence in the music industry, carrying a legacy that helped shape generations of sound.
My nickname is Jackie. My real name is Sigmund Jackson. Sigmund Freud.
As the firstborn of the Jackson siblings, Jackie played a crucial role in creating the foundation of a family that would eventually transform the world of entertainment. Before the fame, the awards, and the global spotlight, he was part of the beginning of something extraordinary. From the early Motown years that introduced the Jackson name to millions, to continuing his musical journey alongside his brothers, Jackie's path has been defined by dedication, resilience, and a quiet determination to keep the legacy alive.
There was a place in the song where I wanted to use Michael saying some powerful words.
This documentary explores the extraordinary life of Jackie Jackson, a journey that began in a simple home, long before fame, fortune, and worldwide recognition. On May 4th, 1951, Katherine Jackson entered motherhood at just 21 years old when she gave birth to her first son, Sigmund Esco Jackson, at St. Mary's Mercy Hospital in Gary, Indiana. Not long after, his grandfather Samuel gave him the nickname that would stay with him forever, Jackie. Inside a modest house on Jackson Street, two very different worlds came together. Katherine brought patience, faith, and a love for music, while Joseph Jackson brought the discipline and determination shaped by years of industrial work. Their home at 2300 Jackson Street was small, a two-bedroom house where the constant force of nearby steel mills could sometimes be felt through the shaking windows. Joseph spent long hours working exhausting swing shifts at the steel mill, often returning home with the marks of hard labor still visible on his hands. But even after those difficult days, he would often turn to his guitar before sitting down for dinner. Katherine also filled the house with music. She played the clarinet and piano, and she would occasionally guide young Jackie, showing him where to place his fingers and how to follow the notes. These were not formal lessons inside a music classroom. They were simple moments of learning that happened naturally within the family. Jackie watched his tired father continue to find comfort in music after a demanding day of work. He listened as his mother patiently repeated scales and melodies. In that home, music was never introduced as a future career or a path to fame. It was simply part of everyday life, woven between prayers, responsibilities, and long hours of work. Years later, a family photograph would capture a completely different side of Jackie's life. Away from the stage and the bright lights, he appeared relaxed, sharing a quiet moment with his wife Emily and their twin sons, River and Jalen. Wearing sunglasses and a striking red jacket, Jackie looked comfortable as his family gathered around him. In the background, an orange cat quietly sat nearby, adding to the feeling of an ordinary family memory. For a man whose life had been surrounded by worldwide attention, the image offered something rare, a glimpse of Jackie not as a performer, but simply as a husband and father. But behind even the simplest moments, there is always a deeper story. What does this picture reveal about the man behind the legend? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Growing up, Jackie was surrounded by a large family. He shared his childhood with 9 siblings: Rebby, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, Michael, Randy, Latoya, and Janet. Their home was crowded, but it was also filled with ambition. Joseph Jackson was known for his strict discipline, yet Jackie has often pushed back against the idea that his father forced music upon them. According to Jackie, many people misunderstand their childhood. He explained that the family members themselves wanted to perform, and that their passion came from within. Joseph provided the tools that helped them grow. He brought home instruments, guitars, bongos, and a bass, giving his children the opportunity to explore their talents. When Joseph was away at work, Jackie would often pick up his father's acoustic guitar and practice alongside Tito, slowly teaching himself chords. In their small living room, the brothers spent countless hours practicing vocals and perfecting their sound. Their mother would sometimes have to call for silence when the rehearsals became too loud. They had no expensive vocal coaches, no professional studios, no major producers guiding their every move. They simply worked with what they had, repeating the same notes, the same harmonies, and the same routines until everything came together. And that small living room became the first stage where the Jackson legacy was created. In 1964, Joseph Jackson officially brought his oldest sons together and formed what would become known as the Jackson Brothers. Jackie was only 13 years old. At the beginning, the group consisted of Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine. They began entering local talent competitions around Gary, Indiana, including events at Roosevelt High School, where they often defeated older and more experienced doo-wop groups. Jackie's high tenor voice gave the group a unique sound, adding a powerful layer to their performances. Later, younger brothers Marlon and Michael joined the group, with Marlon contributing percussion while Michael's extraordinary lead vocals quickly captured attention. As the spotlight began shifting toward Michael, Jackie accepted his new role within the group without bitterness. Instead of fighting for attention, he continued strengthening the harmonies that helped make the Jackson 5 unforgettable. Jackie's voice carried a unique quality within the group. It was the lightest tone in their vocal blend, but that difference became one of the elements that helped define the signature sound of the Jackson 5's Motown recordings. Before the world knew their name, the brothers were building their reputation night after night in local clubs around Chicago and the Midwest. Their performances eventually caught the attention of Motown talent scout Bobby Taylor, who recognized something special in the young group. In 1968, Taylor helped arrange their legendary audition in Detroit, a moment that would completely change the direction of their lives. But for Jackie, that opportunity did not happen overnight. The foundation had already been built through years of dedication. Every small performance, every local competition, and every rehearsal had prepared him for that one life-changing moment. By the time the spotlight finally arrived, Jackie had already spent 4 years proving he was ready. The breakthrough came in March 1969, when the Jackson 5 officially signed their historic Motown contract. Their journey to the label had started months earlier, when they auditioned for Motown founder Berry Gordy at the legendary Hitsville, USA studios. Inside those recording rooms, Jackie became an essential part of the group's sound. While Michael's powerful lead vocals captured the world's attention, Jackie's smooth tenor helped build the rich harmonies behind songs like I Want You Back and ABC. His role was not always the loudest, but it was crucial. The Jackson 5's rise was almost immediate. In 1970, they achieved an incredible milestone by scoring 4 consecutive #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, including the unforgettable classic I'll Be There. Their debut album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, introduced the young brothers to millions of listeners around the world and transformed them from a local family group into an international sensation.
Front and scream. Yeah, do something. Pull your hair out.
By 1976, the Jackson brothers reached a turning point in their career. After years under Motown, they made the decision to move forward with CBS Epic Records and began a new chapter under a new name, the Jacksons. Through this major transition, Jackie remained a constant presence. Alongside Tito and Marlon, he continued to be part of the group's evolution, contributing to every new era of their music and performances. While the sound, label, and circumstances changed, Jackie's commitment never faded. He stood with his brothers through the recording sessions, the worldwide tours, and the challenges that came with keeping a legendary family group alive. Across the group's studio albums and decades of performances, Jackie remained one of the few members who helped carry the Jacksons' story from their early beginnings into their later years. A chapter often overlooked in stories centered around Michael Jackson is Jackie's own recognition within music history. In 1997, he entered the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame alongside the Jackson 5. However, the honor represented the group's legacy as a whole, rather than highlighting Jackie's individual contributions over decades of dedication. One of the most challenging moments of his career arrived during the legendary Victory Tour. In 1984, the Jacksons prepared for a massive stadium tour featuring all six brothers, with 55 scheduled performances across major venues. But during rehearsals at the Los Angeles Forum, Jackie suffered a serious setback. While performing choreography, he landed incorrectly and tore ligaments in his knee. The injury required arthroscopic surgery, forcing him to miss the opening shows in Kansas City and Dallas. Without him, the carefully arranged stage formations were visibly different, leaving a noticeable absence in the group's performances. For several months, Jackie focused on recovery and rehabilitation. His goal was to return before the tour reached its final moments. By December, he was back on stage for the closing concerts at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The Victory Tour became a historic achievement, earning approximately $75 million and attracting more than 2 million fans, making it one of the highest-grossing R&B tours of the decade. Yet, despite being an original member of the Jackson legacy, Jackie's presence was often overshadowed by the enormous attention surrounding Michael and the scale of the tour itself. His return required physical strength and determination. But Jackie stepped back into the spotlight without hesitation, accepting the demanding schedule and continuing to represent the family name. Away from the group, Jackie also attempted to build his own identity as a solo artist. In 1973, Motown released his self-titled debut solo album. However, the project received limited promotion and failed to make a major impact on the charts. Instead of abandoning music, Jackie redirected his creativity towards songwriting and production. He began writing material for his sisters Rebby and LaToya and contributed songs for Hollywood projects, including the 1987 comedy film Burglar. Years later, on September 9, 1989, Jackie released his second solo album, Be the One, through Polydor Records. The project featured musicians such as keyboardist Jeff Lorber and guitarist Paul Jackson Jr. Tracks including Cruisin' and Stay received radio attention in selected markets, while the album reached number 84 on Billboard's Top R&B Albums chart. Jackie also contributed to soundtracks for films such as Touch and Go and The Running Man, giving him opportunities to work beyond the Jackson 5 catalog. However, the momentum never reached the level of his family's biggest successes. The media continued to focus heavily on Michael, while Jackie quietly continued creating music, accepting studio opportunities, and building a career away from the constant spotlight. Behind the fame and music was also a complicated personal life. Jackie married Enid Arden Spann in 1974 after the couple had been together for 5 years. Over time, the marriage became difficult, with court records referencing conflicts and allegations of infidelity. They separated in 1984, briefly reconciled, and ultimately ended their marriage when Enid filed for divorce in 1985, citing irreconcilable differences. Enid later passed away in 1997 from a brain aneurysm. In 2001, Jackie married Victoria Triggs, but the relationship ended in divorce in 2007. 5 years later, in 2012, he married Emily Besselink, a Dutch woman who became involved in managing his European business activities. This marriage has remained his longest and most stable. Industry estimates place Jackie Jackson's net worth at around $5 million. While some of his siblings achieved significantly greater financial success, Jackie's wealth reflects a career built around group achievements, music projects, and steady creative work rather than major endorsements or large-scale solo ventures. For Jackie, success was never about chasing the biggest spotlight. It was about continuing to work with whatever opportunities came his way. Family has always remained at the center of his life. Jackie is the father of 4 children. His first son, Sigmund Esco Siggy Jackson Jr., was born on June 29, 1977. Siggy later entered the hip-hop world under the name Deals and developed his own production company with his wife. His daughter Brandy Jackson was born on February 6, 1982. She has publicly defended her uncle Michael Jackson's reputation and criticized documentaries that she believes portrayed him unfairly. Later in life, Jackie and Emily welcomed twin sons, Jafar and River, born on December 31, 2013. The twins have shown more interest in basketball than following the family's musical path. Jackie spends much of his time supporting them, taking them to practices in Amsterdam and London. Beyond music, Jackie and Emily also built a business together through Havenhurst, a furniture company based in Amsterdam. Emily manages much of the daily operation, while the twins occasionally join Jackie on stage during European appearances. Although their passion remains on the basketball court rather than the concert stage. Jackie's connection with Michael Jackson was one of the longest creative partnerships in music history. For nearly 4 decades, the brothers worked side by side. Jackie was there when a young Michael first stepped forward as the Jackson 5's lead singer, and he later contributed backing vocals to major Jackson hits, including Enjoy Yourself and Shake Your Body. In 2003, Jackie publicly supported Michael during legal accusations against him, stating that the claims were without merit. After Michael's death in June 2009, Jackie continued speaking about his brother's impact and the role he played within the family. However, Jackie also acknowledged that Michael had personal friendships and connections that existed outside their relationship, including his connection with the Cascio family. That realization revealed something deeply human. Even within one of the closest families in entertainment history, there were still private boundaries and parts of each other's lives they did not fully share. Despite those limits, Jackie continues honoring Michael during live performances through spoken tributes and memories. The full details of their private conversations, however, remain known only to them. In 2018, Jackie expanded his creative work by launching his own record label, Critically Amused. The idea came after Emily noticed Jackie's passion for discovering and supporting new talent. The label signed several emerging artists, including Gold Lemonade, French DJ Leah, Caribbean singer J. Vig Spurro, and St. Lucian performer Deblel, a dancer Jackie had personally mentored. Running the label allowed Jackie to return to the lessons he learned during his Motown years. He often described those early recording sessions as a form of real-world business education. He has also contributed as a consultant on projects connected to Michael Jackson's estate, assisting with archival releases and preserving elements of the family's musical history. However, Critically Amused remains a personal creative venture rather than a large corporate operation. Its purpose is not massive expansion. It is Jackie continuing the same passion that began inside a small house in Gary, Indiana. The label remained a small, personal operation rather than a major industry machine. Revenue was limited, distribution was selective, and Jackie continued to make most of the creative decisions himself. Unlike large record companies based in Los Angeles, Critically Amused operated from Amsterdam with a much more personal approach. It was not built as a corporate empire. It was a continuation of Jackie's lifelong connection with discovering talent and creating music. Even after 6 decades in the industry, Jackie never truly stepped away from the stage. In July 2025, he and Marlon returned to the United Kingdom for a series of performances, appearing at Guildfest in Stoke Park on July 5th, Inglefield House in Berkshire on July 19th, and Audley End House in Essex on July 31st. Legendary acts such as Sister Sledge and Boney M joined the events as supporting performers. The shows celebrated 5 decades of the Jacksons' iconic musical catalog, while coming after the heartbreaking loss of their brother Tito Jackson in September 2024. For Jackie, the performances were about one simple thing: keeping the music alive. He described the concerts as energetic celebrations where they could continue performing the songs that defined generations. Among all their classics, he often points to I Want You Back as one of the songs closest to his heart. When questions about retirement appeared, Jackie responded with a simple challenge. Why would he stop? His continued touring proves that performing is not just a career for him, it has become part of who he is. But it also raises an unavoidable question. After decades of demanding choreography and intense performances, how much longer can the human body keep up with the expectations of the stage? Jackie rarely discusses those concerns publicly. Instead, he continues focusing on the music, the performances, and the responsibility of preserving the Jackson legacy. Financially, Jackie Jackson's estimated net worth stands at around $5 million. While some members of his family achieved enormous wealth through solo careers, Jackie's financial journey reflects a different path, one built around group success, long-term dedication, and consistent creative work. His earnings have come from Jackson 5 royalties, soundtrack contributions, international performances, music production, and business ventures. Alongside his record label, Critically Amused, Jackie and his wife Emily have also developed Havenhurst, a sustainable furniture business based in Amsterdam. Rather than depending on massive endorsements or risky ventures, Jackie has focused on maintaining ownership of his projects and creating steady sources of income. As Jackie entered his later years, his priorities began to shift. Turning 75 in May 2026, he had already spent nearly 6 decades living under public attention. Today, his life balances occasional touring with family responsibilities and business activities in Amsterdam. Following Tito's passing, Jackie and Marlon increased their focus on a new duo project, with plans surrounding future recordings and a UK tour under the Jackson 5 Live in concert name. Throughout his career, Jackie has also continued defending a more complicated view of his father, Joe Jackson. While many portray Joe only through his strict discipline, Jackie has argued that his approach reflected the realities of many working-class families during that era. He recognizes the pain of losing both Michael and Tito, but he chooses not to remain publicly focused on those losses. Instead, his attention remains on the work, preserving the original Jackson 5 arrangements, maintaining the sound that changed music history, making sure audiences around the world can still experience the songs that started it all. For Jackie, the details of touring have become his daily reality, from rehearsals and microphone placement to preparing the next performance. But the Jackson story was never only about one person. To understand the full legacy of the King of Pop's family, we have to look at the journeys of his brothers and sisters. The eldest Jackson daughter, Rebbie Jackson, followed a very different path from many of her siblings. Born on May 29, 1950, Rebbie was the first daughter of the Jackson family and had already spent decades connected to music before many people knew her name. 50 years after first appearing on stage with her siblings in Las Vegas, she remained one of the more private members of the family. In 1968, she married Nathaniel Brown, a decision reportedly made against her father's wishes at the time. The couple remained together until Nathaniel's death in 2013 and raised 3 children, Stacy, Yashi, and Austin. Rebbie appeared alongside her family on the Jacksons' television variety series and pursued music in her own way, though she never chased the level of fame reached by Michael, Janet, or some of her other siblings. In January 2026, she made a rare public performance appearance, joining her son Austin on stage in Malibu. With an estimated net worth of around $2.5 million, Rebbie represents a different version of the Jackson legacy, one built away from constant attention. At 75 years old, she has chosen privacy over fame, creating a life at a distance from the spotlight that surrounded her family for generations. Then came the story of Tito Jackson, the guitarist whose quiet talent helped create the foundation of the Jackson 5. Toriano Adderall Tito Jackson, born October 15, 1953, was the third Jackson sibling and the musician responsible for the guitar sound behind the group's early success. As a child, Tito secretly practiced on his father's guitar when Joe was away at work, developing the skills that would eventually help shape one of the most successful groups in music history. Before his passing, Tito remained active creatively, continuing studio work and developing new music. A posthumously released interview from 2026 featured conversations about his later projects, including his record Under Your Spell. He also rejected rumors of serious divisions within the Jackson family surrounding future projects. After Tito's death from a heart attack in September 2024, Jackie admitted that the loss still felt unreal. He reflected on the fact that Tito had been there from the very beginning of the Jackson 5 journey. Their final moments together came after a performance in Germany, before Tito decided to return to his ranch in Oklahoma. Although he was gone, Tito's guitar work continues to live through the recordings that introduced the Jackson name to the world. Next came Jermaine Jackson, the voice, the songwriter, and the visionary presence within the family. Born December 11, 1954, Jermaine was the original bassist and one of the lead vocalists of the Jackson 5. His smooth voice became one of the defining elements of the group's early sound. After stepping away from the group in 2020, Jermaine shifted much of his focus toward preserving Michael Jackson's legacy and protecting the family's history. In December 2025, he announced plans for a traveling exhibition dedicated to the Jackson family's story, describing it as a unique museum experience featuring around 200 items, including previously unseen artwork created by Michael. The exhibition was planned for presentation at the Monaco Art Biennale between late 2026 and early 2027. Jermaine also attended the Los Angeles premiere of the Michael Jackson biopic Michael in April 2026. However, his later years have also included legal challenges. A default judgment connected to an old lawsuit was entered against him in 2026. Though Jermaine later denied the allegations and filed legal documents seeking to overturn the decision, the judgment was eventually set aside after questions arose regarding proper legal service. Meanwhile, LaToya Jackson continued maintaining a visible connection with the entertainment world. Born May 29, 1956, LaToya remained one of the most recognizable members of the Jackson family, balancing music, television appearances, and public events throughout her career. In April 2026, she appeared at the world premiere of the Michael Jackson biopic at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, where she shared her reaction to the film and praised her nephew Jafar Jackson's portrayal of his legendary uncle. LaToya Jackson's connection to the public spotlight has continued for decades. When she was asked about the Michael Jackson biopic, she expressed her approval while emphasizing the importance of keeping the story authentic. She praised the film and highlighted the performance of her nephew Jafar Jackson, saying that his portrayal was so convincing that audiences could almost forget they were watching an actor and feel as though they were seeing Michael himself. Beyond the film's attention, LaToya remained active in entertainment. In 2026, she appeared as a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. She also shared moments of everyday family life, including a video of herself preparing enchiladas for her brother Jermaine in April 2026. Earlier that year, she attended Lambert's Monday Night event in Cologne, Germany, continuing to balance public appearances with her personal connections and ongoing life outside the stage. At 69 years old, LaToya remains one of the most recognizable members of the Jackson family. Whether she eventually chooses a quieter life away from cameras or continues appearing in the public eye remains uncertain. But her presence has always been part of the family's larger story. Then there is Janet Jackson, the youngest sibling who built a legacy entirely of her own. Born Janet Demita Jo Jackson on May 16, 1966, she entered a family already known worldwide. But she would eventually create a career powerful enough to stand independently from the Jackson name. Over the years, Janet became one of the best-selling artists in music history, transforming herself from the youngest Jackson sibling into a global superstar. In 2025, she completed a successful 22-show Las Vegas residency at Resorts World Theater, proving that her ability to command a stage remained as strong as ever. The following year brought even more milestones. Janet announced performances in Japan, including dates in Kobe, Yokohama, and Nagoya. She was also scheduled to headline the Heritage Live Festival at Sandringham Estate in Norfolk on August 19, 2026. alongside special guests Wycliffe Jean and Soul the Second Soul. Janet celebrated her 60th birthday in May 2026, with her sister LaToya by her side. Unlike some members of the family, Janet decided not to participate in the Michael Jackson biopic, a choice that LaToya publicly supported. Even after decades in the industry, Janet's career shows no signs of slowing down. With a new U.S. tour planned for September 2026, the question is no longer whether Janet will continue performing. The question is how long she can maintain a pace that few artists have ever achieved. Among the Jackson brothers, Randy Jackson has always been the most private. Born Stephen Randall Jackson on October 29, 1961, Randy joined the Jackson 5 later than his older brothers, becoming part of the group after Jermaine's departure in 1975. Unlike many of his siblings, Randy did not chase a major solo career. Instead, he focused on the craft behind the scenes, working as a musician, producer, bassist, and guitarist. He remained connected to music, but eventually stepped away from performing with the Jacksons in 2001. Today, Randy's focus is primarily on supporting his sister Janet, managing aspects of her career rather than standing under the stage lights himself. Jackie Jackson has explained that Randy could return whenever he chooses. But for now, his attention remains on family responsibilities. Out of all the Jackson brothers, Randy has maintained the greatest level of privacy. He rarely appears in public, does not participate in recent tours, and has stayed away from new group projects. His contribution has always existed quietly in the background. Then came one of the biggest moments in the family's modern history, the Michael Jackson biopic. The 2026 film Michael, starring Jermaine Jackson's son Jafar Jackson as the King of Pop, became a major global event and attracted enormous attention from fans around the world. Jackie and Marlon Jackson were involved with the project as executive producers, helping bring their family's perspective to the production. Following the success of the first film, Lionsgate confirmed that a sequel was in development. The next chapter is expected to explore Michael's later career, including eras such as the Dangerous album period, using additional footage from the original production. However, the project also created difficult conversations within the family. Reports suggested disagreements over how much of Michael's private life should be included and how certain moments should be portrayed. Jafar Jackson, who played his uncle in the first film, is expected to return and continue the role that introduced him to a worldwide audience. But the Jackson legacy does not end with the current generation. The family's next chapter is already beginning. Jackie and Marlon continue performing as the Jacksons, with future UK dates planned in cities including Manchester, Cardiff, Wolverhampton, and London. Janet continues her own touring journey, while Randy remains focused behind the scenes managing her career. Meanwhile, a new generation of Jacksons is starting to step forward. Jafar Jackson's performance as Michael has placed him among the potential future representatives of the family's entertainment legacy. Rebby Jackson's son Austin Brown has also pursued music and performance. Across the Jackson siblings, more than 20 grandchildren now carry the family name, and some have already shown interest in music, entertainment, and creativity. Whether any of them will ever reach the worldwide impact created by their predecessors remains impossible to predict. But one thing is certain, carrying the Jackson name means carrying a history that few families in entertainment can match. From a small house surrounded by the sounds of Gary's steel mills to the biggest stages on earth, the Jackson family created a musical legacy that continues to influence generations. Michael became a global icon whose name changed music forever. But the story was never only about one person. Jackie's loyalty, Janet's superstardom, Jermaine's vision, Tito's musicianship, and the determination of every sibling helped build something much larger than individual fame. Together, their journey represents decades of ambition, sacrifice, success, and resilience. And after more than 60 years, the Jackson name remains unforgettable.